try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get someday we'll make it alright. Other days we only get to try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get someday we'll make it alright. Other days we only get to try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get better. Someday we'll make it alright. Other days we only get to try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get someday we'll make it alright. Other days we only get to try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get better. Someday we'll make it alright. Other days we only get to try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get someday we'll make it alright. Other days we only get to try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get better.
Oh, hold on one second. Here we go. And you know something's gonna mess up when it messes up. Okay, let's see here. Doesn't want to show my face. Give me 1 second. Hmm, mm, mm, mm. I'll tell you what, for everybody who is logged on, if you will, let's see. She is not wanting to switch my camera over, and I'm trying to get my camera working. Here we go. I think we got her now. Made it. Never fails. Whenever you're trying to get something going, something is going to mess up. Just the way that it happens. Can everybody hear me okay? I'm going to open up the chat here. Just type in a 1 if you can hear me okay. All right, glad you could hear me. All right, it never fails. I'm sitting here like I've never had this issue before. And you know, sometimes it just so happens to do it, especially when you have something to talk about with people, especially things that are really going to affect people's lives. We always seem to have issues that take place. Hey, Gwen. Hey, Danielle and Muriel. And I think I've probably missed some. I know that I have some on YouTube as well. So yeah, got a bunch on YouTube as well. So just glad everyone is here. I've been looking so forward all day to be talking to you all. Hey, we had a great challenge this past week. I mean, it actually, no joke, it actually did something to me on the inside. I've been a part of food challenges before, 30 days all fruit, 30 days of this, or 10 days, 15 days of that. But this was the first challenge that I have ever done where it was nothing but a mental thing. Thank you, Danielle. I'm going to try to be reading you all stuff. So look, I've got YouTube going. I've got 3 Facebook channels that are going right now as well. So if you see me looking down at something, it's because I'm trying to make sure that I'm not missing people. I'm trying to make sure that, I'm looking at some of the questions and stuff. And I actually see on my screen, I'm actually able to see whether it's coming from Facebook or whether it's coming from YouTube also. But I'm just trying to make sure all the channels are checked. So anyway, not to hold you all any longer on what we're going to talk about, but my question is for some of us, what's hindering your change? Think about it. It's a deep question. It has many layers to it, but what is hindering your change? What's hindering it? So I developed a couple of questions for you. So what barriers do you face trying to adopt a healthier eating lifestyle? Like what are the hurdles that we go through when trying to adopt a healthier eating lifestyle? Self is probably the second biggest hurdle. If you want to include your mind with yourself, that is the biggest hurdle. Yeah, that's the biggest hurdle. Yeah, junk food. So if you could separate your body part, like you could separate your hands from you, you could separate your mouth from you, you could separate your head from you. Like what is the part of your body that causes you the most trouble when it comes to eating unhealthy food? Yeah, what is the part of your body that hurts us the worst when it comes to eating unhealthy food? And I'm going to tell you what that is. It is the mind. We can't say it's our hands because our mind controls our hands. We can't say that it's our mouth because our mouths is controlled by our mind. So honestly, the biggest hurdle that we have as people trying to eat correctly, our biggest hurdle is going to be the mind. If we can get that mind squared away, man, we can accomplish everything. Anything that we want to do, we can accomplish it if we can get that mind squared away. I hope y'all don't hear this train that's coming by. It's like really loud. So even along with this, I would say it would have to be commitment. Commitment is a huge deal. Anybody have a problem with just being committed? You know, one day I got it. The next day, oh, I think I got it. And then another day, I'm tired of this. I just can't keep doing this. Anybody feeling that? Yeah. So that's really tough. The mind is the answer. So, you know, we talked about a lot of things in the challenges, which I'm not going to go into because I'm saving the challenges for the challenges. But still, I want to give you some feedback. Yeah, stress eat. Man, that stress eating is huge. No doubt, stress eating is huge. So we have to be very careful when it comes to stress eating because stress eating is one of those things that'll make you forget everything. I don't care what you had planned for the day. If you stress eat, everything goes out the window. You can forget it. It all goes out the window. You know, stress eating is tough. It's hard on us. You know, we live in a society of stress, and that society of stress causes us to all day. So somebody tell me, what does stress eating do? What does it give you? What does stress eating give you? Stress eating gives you pleasure. We have this stress that's on us. Yes, gives us relief. Yes, it does cause guilt in that situation. I understand what you're saying. Immediate satisfaction. Right. So you've got this stress that's been on you all day. You're stressed out about your job. You're stressed out about bills. You're stressed out about the kids haven't picked the house up and the house looks a mess. You're stressed, you're stressed, you're stressed. But yet you can find that ice cream sandwich and you bite into that ice cream sandwich and it just gives you all the pleasure that you think that you needed for that day because your day has been so hard. Feel good feelings for a short time. And you know, after we eat that food, you know good and well what we do. I should not have done that. I should not have done that. I apologize for making you hungry. Sorry about that. But this is where you want to get to. So for example, what I just did was I just bought something up. I bought a particular type of food up. And when you're not in control of your mind, when somebody brings that particular type of food up, it makes you think about it and it makes you want it. where we're needing to get to is if somebody brings that food up, your mind automatically does this. Oh, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. And you have to know why you don't want it. For example, I don't want that ice cream sandwich. I mean, it's got milk pus in it. It's got artificial flavors in it. It's got the red color in it. It's not even real chocolate. I mean, it may have chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry in that ice cream sandwich, but none of them are real flavors. You understand what I'm saying? You got to get your mind to the place where you can, when it starts to hit a negative at you, you throw a positive. Yes, it tastes good, but guess what? It doesn't make me feel good. If you're diabetic, you can say, yeah, it tastes good to me, but it sure makes my blood sugar go up. I got to go take some more insulin to get it back down. And then you're talking about money because you're taking something outside of when you're supposed to be taking it, so you're having to take a little bit more. So when the end of the month comes, you're short on your supply because you've eaten so much sugar, you had to offset that. So then it costs you money in the long run. So you have to start thinking about food in a way in which when it's brought up to you, you have to start smacking that thought down because you know what is going to happen from it. You know that it is. So it's a different thinking process that we have to have when it comes to the food that we are eating. Okay, let's see. How about not wanting to give up what you like? Not wanting to give up what you like. That's a hurdle. You know, again, food is a pleasure. It makes us feel good. This is the way that we've been trained. Food is a pleasure. Instead of food being something that causes us to live, food being something that causes us to have energy, you know, we don't think in terms like that. We think of the opposite. We think of, man, this sure gonna make me feel good when I put that in my mouth. Sure gonna make it taste good when I put that in my mouth. So, you know, those are the ways that we have to start training our minds to think. Okay, so don't get overburdened by the pleasure of food because it is deceptive. The pleasure of food is deceptive. Have you noticed that you don't really crave for a cucumber? Have any of you all noticed that you don't really crave for spinach? But yet you do crave all those things that we really shouldn't be eating. And there's a reason why you crave it. You crave it because it's been designed for you to eat it and crave it. See, how do you start that conversation about the bad ingredients when your mind is absorbed into pleasure traps? Okay, good question. So the question is, let me see if I can put this question up here. I'm gonna put this question up. Didn't realize my computer was so far up. Okay. How do you start that conversation about the bad ingredients when your mind is absorbed into pleasure trap? This requires thinking on your part. It requires for you to say to yourself, okay, is this going to harm me or is this going to help me? That's got to be a thought that pops up in your mind. I know what the stomach does to us. I know the stomach just makes us crave and it makes us lose our mind. The thing is you have to gain your mind during those situations. You have to gain your mind. Cravings make you lose your mind, but you have to get control of your mind and keep your mind during those situations. So if somebody walks in here with something that I'm not going to say a particular type of food, because I do realize that that does make people struggle. So I'm not going to do that. But if somebody was to come in and have a particular type of food that we like, are you going to say to yourself, ooh, I want that, I'm going to eat that? Or are you at a place where you say, I'm not going to touch it? I know that it's tough, and it may look like that it's easy for me to say it because I'm not in that situation any longer. I've like trained myself to not do that. But trust me, you all, you can overcome that hurdle with food. Of course, there's going to be things that you may smell that you'll be like, oh my goodness. You have to learn to appreciate the smell of food without being able to touch it. I know that sounds like totally crazy, but you're going to have to learn to enjoy the smell without touching the food, if that makes any sense to anybody. Like, if I smell lasagna or something like that, I just said a food, I apologize. If I smell something, then I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, boy, that really does smell good. But the other part of me says, man, I can't eat that. All that cheese, all the pasta, that stuff will be on me all night. Then I'll have heartburn. I'll be lethargic all day, blah, 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 blah. Those are things you're going to have to realize you can't let it take over you. You have to take over it. It's called mind mastery. It's called appetite mastery. You have to learn to master your appetite. Okay? It's just a part of it. You have to do that. And I know it sounds hard to do, but I'll guarantee you, I promise you, it's actually quite easy to do once you've trained your mind to do it. My family may be eating something to the side of me, and I'll play around like, hey, I'm going to eat some of that. And like I said, they'll tell me, no, Dad, you can't have that. They can eat it, but I can't eat it. But they'll tell me, no, Dad, you can't have that. So I don't even worry about it because they wouldn't let me eat it if I wanted to. But, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, man, that really looks good. But again, I know where I've come from and I know where I'm going. That's a question that you have to ask yourself. Do you know where you're going? If you know where you're going to help yourself get there. Don't get sidetracked. Don't get derailed by something that's going to give you short-term pleasure for about 5-10 minutes, however long it takes you to eat it. Sometimes it would take me less than 2 minutes to wolf down what I was going to eat, and then I'd go get another one and wolf it down again. Parasites make us crave as well. That is correct. That is correct. Yeah. Stomach is your second brain. Hey, now see, you're going to make me bring this one up. Stomach is your second brain. What's communicated down here is communicated up here. Your microbiome, which is like cities of germs and bacteria and all these things, they actually communicate with your brain. It's like little cities of things. I mean, they're literally all over your body. The microbiome is huge, and that's going to be something that we'll have to get into at another time because that's something I'm still studying out. Your microbiome actually helps keep you from getting sick. If you have too much of the bad, you're in bad shape. So yes, your microbiome, it's your second brain. No doubt about it, it really is. And that's a very, very deep subject to get into. So again, I'm just wanting you to process some of these questions, really just wanting you to think, because I really want people to really just, start thinking about these things. What is hindering us? Another question: what hurdles prevent you from incorporating more plant-based foods into your diet? What hurdles prevent you from incorporating more plant-based foods into your diet? Anybody? What kind of hurdles do some of us have? I'll give you one. How about lack of planning? Lack of planning is one of those hurdles that hinders us. I'm gonna be the first example for you. Are you ready? If I'm leaving out the house and I know good and well that I haven't prepared myself, I haven't bought the proper foods that I need to take with me to work, or if I haven't thought about, okay, today I'm going to go to such and such and I'm going to get a salad off of the salad bar, or I'm going to go to the fruit market down the street from my job and I'm going to go get some fruit. If we have not planned those things out, you know what happens. What happens? Well, I'm a little hungry now. Man, I didn't bring no food with me. I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, there's that fast food chain sitting right there. I guess I better go to that fast food chain and I'll just have to count this one as a loss today. And those are the things that get us off track. Let's see, knowing what to do with plant-based food. For example, we are used to eating meat and flesh. Exactly right. Exactly right. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because my daughter is awesome at fixing food. So my daughter and I can't tell you when, but coming up here in the very, very, very near future, my daughter and I are going to go into the kitchen and we're going to do a live on meals to prepare, how to prepare certain meals. So she's really good. She's 12 years old and she's a baker. She can cook. She can do all of that. So she and I are going to take it on ourselves, and we're going to try to help people to develop meals to eat. So that's really tough when you do that. Let's see, plant-based restaurants. Okay, I have a few when I'm in need. Good, yeah. Write down all of your plant-based restaurants that are around you. Keep it in a journal or something. That you should call that my go-to book. You've got to have a book that says something like my go-to book. And that's a book, when you catch yourself in trouble, you open that book up and you use that book as your go-to book. So again, we're going to start doing that because we want to help people. Hey, sometimes it gets monotonous eating the same things over and over. It does. It gets monotonous, and you have to find different recipes to do that. Like Muriel Wilcott, she's on here. She's awesome at preparing meals. So if any of you all are in our private group, or you can actually go to Muriel. Muriel, if you want to put that up, put your Facebook group up so people can join it. Muriel, she prepares food all the time, and you can get some great ideas from her. So she'll put that up for you. I'm sure she will. She'll put that up for you so that you can see some of the things that she's doing. But those things is what you're really going to have to get hold of. So lack of planning. How about cost? There's a lot of people who really just can't afford. There's people who are on disability who have just enough money to make it, and it's hard for them. It is hard for them to be able to go out and buy the food that they know that they need to eat. So that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Cost. But again, for some of us, it's got to do with our priorities. I mean, we have the money, but do we prioritize what we are doing? We have the money, but do we prioritize what we're going to do with our money when it comes to our food? So as I said in my challenge class, I'm not going to say too much about what I say in there, but as I say in there, you can pay now or you're going to pay later. It's going to happen. You can pay now or you're going to pay later. How about this one? Fear. Fear. You're scared. You're scared to make that lifestyle change. Because you know that the foods that you're used to eating that are your favorite meals, you know you're going to have to set those to the side. They're no longer going to be able to be a part of your life unless you're one of those people who can do it. If you're one of those people who can keep your food in check, like you're storing up money in the bank, like, okay, I've been eating good for 3 weeks. I'm going to allow myself to have this one thing. And after I have this one thing, I'm done. If you can do that, which I have learned to be able to do, I've never been able to do that. I've learned to be able to make deposits in my bank so that if I want to take my wife out to eat and I want to eat something cooked, nothing crazy, I don't do meat and stuff like that. But if I want to have something that's got some sauteed vegetables, maybe something that has some potatoes and some spinach and stuff like that that's possibly cooked, I'll do that. Why? Because I know I've stored up money in the bank. So that one meal is not going to hurt me. So just be careful when you do that. If you're a person who has a lack of self-control, don't do it. Don't put yourself in that situation to fail. Don't do it. Okay? So fear. How does convenience factor into your food choices? I think somebody mentioned that earlier. How does convenience factor into your food choices? I would say convenience factors in a whole lot to our food choices, doesn't it? If we're not prepared and we don't feel like getting up an extra 30 minutes early to get our food together for the day, convenience will factor in to our food choices. But see, that's hard to do. Pastrami sandwiches on rye with mustard, not a good idea. And of course it's not. And I wouldn't do it. I really would not do it. You know those things that you shouldn't have. You know those things that will set you back. For example, I know that I can't eat a piece of cake. Number one, I won't do it because I know what it's made of. But number two, I can't do it because that's my old way. And so when you're in your old way, you want to try to, in your new way, you want to try to stay away from your old way, those things that drag you back. Most people who fail, that's what happens to them. Most people who fail get a taste of something that they used to have, and they say, okay, I'm just going to eat this, and then they wind up eating a little more of it. And then before you know it, they have eaten quite a bit of it, and they just go ahead and stop. They go ahead and stop. So just be careful when you make decisions. You have to set your limit on what you're going to have. Like I know what I will eat, and I know what I won't eat. And you have to process that in your mind so that when you're out to eat with friends, you don't fall into that. Okay? Eating out with friends is the toughest thing, one of the toughest things you can do. But, if you have really good friends, they'll help you out, even if you get weak. Let's see, my wife makes amazing alkaline plant-based meals. Oh, great. Awesome. My plan one day, I don't know if you all know this older elder. I call him an elder. His name is Alaris. Lives down in Panama, and he has a school that he actually helps prepare people, teach them how to cook uncooked foods. And so at some point, I'm going to take my wife and I'm going to take her down there, and I'm going to let him train us in how to make all of these plant-based foods. So, that's really important to set yourself up. You need to invest in yourself. I don't care what it is. You really need to invest in yourself. It's really important to invest in yourself. Learn. Let's keep learning. Okay, let's go to another question. What social or cultural factors makes it difficult for you to change your eating habits? What social or cultural factors makes it difficult for you to change your eating habits? Anybody have an idea? Anybody have a thought about that before I say something? Joe's Fernandez, I've been plant-based for 1 year. Oh, we got to put that on. Been plant-based for 1 year and a half. Wow, was weighing in at 350, now down to 234. Good job. Good job, man. That's awesome. I love to hear those stories. I love to hear those stories. That is awesome because that encourages other people to continue to do it. Good job. I love that. Keep doing it. Don't give up. Stick with it. I'm working right at 1 year. 1 year. Who'd have ever thought that I could go without eating meat for 1 full year? Who would have thought I could go without eating ice cream for 1 full year? I could have never seen that in my mind whatsoever. Could have never seen it. Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. Okay, here's the answer to some of the questions. What social or cultural factors make it difficult for you to change your eating habits? All right. I'm going to give you one. If you live in a low economic area and you do not have grocery stores in your area, that makes it extremely hard for you to have a plant-based, a fruit-based lifestyle. I consider them, when I say plant-based, I'm considering them one and the same, fruit and plants. I look at them both. They're both whole foods. They're both awesome for you. But where people live actually hinder them from eating well. And it's really sad because people who live in these low-income areas, a lot of them, they really do want to eat well. But this is what, from living in major cities, this is what I have found, and this is even before I even come into what I know now. When you live in a major city and you live in an impoverished area in town, they don't set up fruit markets, whole food markets. They don't set those things up for you there. A lot of people do not have vehicles to even drive to go to the nearest Kroger or to go to, not even have the money to go to a Whole Foods. Look, Whole Foods, it's tough for me to shop there. And my job that I have, I make pretty decent money. And that's tough. It's hard to shop at Whole Foods. It's just too expensive. The last time I went to Whole Foods, I got a container about this big full of mushrooms, salad. What else did I have? I can't even remember. It was basically mushrooms and salad. And when I got there, when I got up to the cash register, she said that'll be $26. I said, what? $26 for what? I said, ma'am, I only got a salad. I know they're kind of expensive. And I was like, well, how do you all expect for people to come and eat well if you make it out of people's reach to be able to afford and pay for? So that's what you go through. And I said, not coming back. I'm not doing it again. I'm not going to do that. I can go buy 16 salads from somewhere else. So you have those kind of economic issues that people have, and they really don't have anywhere else to go. So what they put in front of them is all of the fast food joints down the whole street in these neighborhoods, and that's all they have. They have the little convenient markets with all the ultra processed foods sitting right on the corner. That's really all a lot of these people know. So how do they get out of that? I'm going to tell you how you have to get out of that. If you live in an area like that, you're going to have to make some decisions for yourself. You're going to have to do some planning. Like, you're going to have to plan on, in Louisville, it's called the TARC bus. So, like, if you're in that area, you're going to have to plan to take the bus to a grocery store. You're just going to have to plan it. So they don't have the best fruit. You know, the grocery stores that we have now, so they don't have the best fruit. You're going to have to eat it anyway. I hear people say all the time, I heard people talk about today, if it ain't organic, I don't eat it. Well, I'm glad you have access to organic fruit. A lot of people don't have access to organic fruit, so you have to eat what you have. I had a brother tell me, say, you eating that junk, man. I said, look, no, I'm eating what I've got in my area. Would you prefer to me go eat a Snickers candy bar? Because that's my other alternative. Would you prefer I go eat some ultra processed food? Because that's my other alternative. So if I've got to choose between fruit that they say is GMO and GMO food, I'm going to choose the fruit. What else do you do? Yep, Uber and Lyft. That's another good one. That's another good one. Uber and Lyft. And, you know, Uber and Lyft, I was just in one today, coming back from the airport. We flew back in from Florida today. I was just in one today. And the prices are not that bad. They're better than taxis. Better than taxis. So if you really want to do it, you can do it. You can do it. These hindrances that I just brought up, you can do it. They cannot be hindrances to you. Let me tell you something. We're going to do what is important to us. If it's important to us, we will find a way to do it. We'll find a way. Ladies, if you like those nice shoes, you'll find a way to save that money and get them shoes that you want. Guys, if you like to have the big sports channel that costs $60 a month, you'll find a way to save that money to pay that $60 add-on to your television bill. You'll go out of your way to do that. And so even for your own health, if you really care about your health, you will find a way to do it. I don't know about you all. Listen, too many people are dying. Too many people are dying. Too many people are dying of diabetes. Too many people around us, all of us, know people here recently who have died from an illness. And it's metabolic. It's what we're metabolizing. It's what we're putting into our system that is causing these things to happen. So we just have to learn how to redo our food. We've got to go in. We've got to change some stuff around in our minds. We have to renew our way of thinking about food and realize that the stuff that they call food is not food. There's no other way around it. Okay, let's see. Here's a question. What's my thoughts on intermittent fasting? I think intermittent fasting is awesome. Like, there's days that I won't eat till 2 o'clock. So I'll shut down. I'll be done eating my fruit. Sometimes I can't eat until 8 o'clock at night until I shut my truck down. So I'll eat my fruit at 8 o'clock at night. I try to be done by eating by 6 o'clock. If I can do it at 6, most times I do make it by 6. So I won't eat again until like 11 o'clock the next day. And depending on how I'm feeling, I'll go to 2 o'clock. Because I understand that intermittent fasting, if you can get past that 14 to 16 hours, your body's in heal mode. Your body's healing. So I want to make sure that people understand, I want to make sure that people understand, and I'm sure that you understand it from the biblical sense, what fasting really is. If you look the word up, fasting, in the Bible, and you look that word up, it means this in Hebrew. I don't know if many of you all know that, but this is fasting. It means the covering of the mouth. So fasting is not drinking water. Fasting is not going on a juice fast. And I'm not trying to offend anybody. So if you get offended, I do apologize. I know a lot of people depend on the juices and they call it juice fast. But biblical fasting is the hand over your mouth. So we may call it abstaining. We may say that we're abstaining from. That's almost, to me, a better sense of it is call it abstaining. So from this time to this time, I abstain from this. But when we say we're going to fast, to me, when I say I'm going to fast, and I call it intermittent fasting, I don't eat or drink anything. I don't drink juice. I don't drink water. I shut it all down if I'm going to call it a fast. If I don't call it a fast, I just simply say I'm not going to have anything but some juice. I won't call it a fast. But again, if you're not, if you don't look at things from a biblical standpoint, that's okay. Hey, call it a fast if that's what you choose to call it. But for people who do read their Bibles and study the word, biblical fasting is the covering of the mouth in Hebrew. That's what fasting actually means. And I only say that because I just believe in saying the truth, even if it hurts people's feelings. I would much rather hurt someone's feeling and help them than to placate somebody's feeling and not help them. So that's just my thoughts on it. So anyway, I do believe in intermittent fasting. And I think it's very important to do because, again, that is the healing mode in your body. If you begin to feel yourself getting sick, my advice would be this: don't eat. Don't eat anything when you're feeling. If you feel a cold or something beginning to come on, either live on oranges or don't eat, because your body kicks in that cycle of healing itself. And then you'll notice if you can go a day or so without eating if you feel like your sickness is coming on, if you eat, you'll notice you'll start feeling bad again. You'll be feeling good because you're not eating, and then you think everything's okay. And when you eat, your body's taking that energy and it's trying to break that food down, and it's taking that energy that it was using to heal you. It's now having to divert that energy to break down that food that's inside of you. So anyway, I know you probably didn't ask for all that, but anyway. So hey, we're going to do this frequently. I'm going to start doing a live. Hey, and for those of you all, Ima Deborah, for those of you all who believe in prayer, would you please do a special prayer for me, please? My job hinders me from doing what I'm called to do, and this is actually what I'm called to do. But my job hinders me from that. And just please be praying for me that he gets me out of the truck that I'm having to drive. And I'm away from my family from Monday all the way to Friday. So tomorrow I'm not going to work because I've been in Florida all week and I just need to rest up. So I'm not going to work tomorrow, but I normally go out on Monday mornings till Friday evenings just before the Sabbath happens. And that's when I try to be home, is just before the Sabbath takes place, because my family, when I get home, my family already has the meal waiting for me when I get home and stuff, and we just enjoy ourselves. We don't do anything on the Sabbath at all. And you know, you need that time of rest. You need to break that down. You need to rest your mind, rest your body. He makes us do that. But the system that we live in today, you know, even Sundays, you know, people are shopping at the mall. You know, I hear people say it all the time, and I'm not trying to get off into that. But anyway, rest yourself. Meaning, don't do anything on the day, okay? So, but please be praying for me that the Most High pulls me out of that truck and He allows me to do this full time. I know that there are a lot of other people who are out talking about fruit and talking about, you know, these things, but I find very few people who uses the Most High's word while they're having to do with how we eat. Thank you for praying for me. I just really feel like when I'm looking online for people who are like-minded like me, you know, sometimes some of the things that I hear does not align with what I believe. And I believe there's a lot of people out there who believe, you know, similarly. You know, they believe in the Bible, they believe in the word, they believe in being respectful, they believe in not using profanity and things like that. So I don't see a lot of places out there like that. So I want to make that safe space for people who believe like that. I think is very important. I look at it like this. If I can't sit my children, all 6 of them, if I can't sit all of them around beside me and watch something, then I can't watch it. It has to be that good that if you all wanted to bring your children in to listen, you should bring your children in to listen. At some point, my wife and we're going to start to deal with families, how to convert your family over to eating plant-based. And we're going to tell you what we've done with our children and what we're doing. Now, your older children, look, let me just go in and tell you now, they're going to do what they want to do. All you can do is be the example for your older children, okay? Even if they live with you. My children, except for my oldest, all of my children live with me. My 24-year-old son lives at home. My 21-year-old daughter, she lives at home, and then all my young ones, they live at home. I tell my children, you can stay home, you can live in my house until you get married. That's just the rule that I give them. Okay, so I've raised my older 3. I have an older 3 and I have a younger 3. So I've raised my older 3, and they're just going to eat what I have trained them to eat. Yes, I trained them to eat like that. And, you know, I try to talk to them, but all I can do is be an example. And I tell them all the time, if you get sick, you start doing what your daddy does. But my younger 3, hey, they're good. When we fix our plant-based meals, man, they're sitting and eating and they're happy with it. So we're going to start doing that. We're going to start coming up with a venue for married people, or, you know, it could be single parents, but how you change the diet of your children when they don't want to change. So we're going to be coming out with those kind of things later on. But anyway, I can only do one thing at a time. Hey, but I do appreciate you all. Let's see, plant-based. Make sure I see, but example does make a big, yes, example does make a big difference. Okay, so it's 55 minutes, y'all. I have kept a number of you all out. Let's see, the Bible is beneficial for reproving and setting things straight. Yes, and this is going to be the place that uses the word. So if you don't really like the Bible, I tell people this all the time. If you don't really like the Bible, I'm probably not the one that you want to listen to, because I'm always going to be referring to the Bible. In our challenge that we did, Muriel, am I right? In the challenge that we just did last week, I used Bible scripture for the challenge. And that's just the way that I operate. The Bible has so many good principles to use for our own eating, how we consume food. We have to use it. So, hey, I do appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to do this. Please, if you're on Facebook, friend me, and I'm going to tell you when I'll start setting these up regularly. I just have a hard time doing it when I'm in the truck, so I'm going to have to find a precise time when I can do this. And I'm going to do this regularly where we can get together and talk and maybe talk things through. And again, just thank you so much for your prayers. I'm just praying that the Most High delivers me from my regular job and he lets me do this full time. So, hey, we've got a lot of good things coming up, a lot of important things that are going to be coming up, and we're just grateful to be with you all. So for that, hey, you all take care. You all have a great night, and I really do appreciate you all tuning in because you could have been somewhere else. All right, you all take care. Bye-bye.